What's up guys, Jamie here. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to go from $0 to $10,000 per month online in 5 very, very simple steps. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh, Jamie, that sounds like really? Yes, really, yeah, I'm living proof. So here's the thing, this video and my channel in general, it's not filled with fluff. I very rarely bother to edit my videos. This is really just me talking about my 9+ years of experience in digital and affiliate marketing, and I'm trying to cut through some of the BS that's out there. So if that's of interest to yourself, feel free to hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and feel free to drop a comment. I try to check these throughout the week as best I can. And if that's not your cup of tea, that's completely cool. There's a bunch of other stuff out there that will probably serve you very well. So anyway, if you're still with me at this point, I need to dispel a couple of myths. Number one is all that stuff you've read about needing certain things in your marketing is not entirely true. Now, I'm not accusing anyone of lying to you, of course. It's just that there are other ways of doing it once you know how. Number one is you don't necessarily need a website in order to make substantial income online. You don't necessarily need email marketing. You don't need to be blogging. You don't need to be doing podcasts. You don't even need to be producing videos if you choose not to. And look, I know what you're thinking, Jamie, that sounds really interesting, man, but you're producing videos, you're out there doing it. What gives, man? Now, first thing I do need to clarify, I'm not shitting on any of those methods of producing content. They're all absolutely amazing, but I think as a newbie, what happens is people jump into this field and they type in how to start making money online, and I looked it up the other day, there's 4.2 billion results. So as a newbie, how do you know, is it CPA, is it Kindle, is it FBA, is it Shopify and drop shipping, is it, I don't know, what else, consulting, is it high ticket, is it low ticket, is it, what niche should I get into, should I produce stuff on YouTube, I don't know, what do I do, should I set up a blog, all of which are fine. And going back to my earlier comment, yes, you can start adding things like email marketing in and all that sort of stuff, and that's an interesting debate. I'm happy to get into it another time. I still have email marketing, but without these core processes in place, that would be completely pointless. And I think that's what gets missed a lot of the time. Anyway, so what are the 5 steps? Now, number one, you're going to need to pick a traffic source. Now, my preference is actually Facebook. I do a lot of stuff here on YouTube, but my preference is Facebook. And the reason being is because there's 2 billion people there. My audience is there. And if you don't think your audience is there, I can assure you there's 2 billion people. Of course they're there. Of course they're on Facebook. And so you go and find your audience on whatever platform. Now, the little caveat is you can do it like YouTube, where you go one to many, or you can go Facebook, where you can go one to many with your content, or actually communicate on an individual basis. My preference is Facebook, like I say, because it does allow you to communicate with people on a one-to-one basis, and you start forming some really cool relationships as you go along. Right, now the other thing is, and I've spoken about this numerous times on this channel and whatnot, is that you need something that you strongly believe in, that you think is going to help solve a bunch of problems for a bunch of people, and it pays you. If it's your own product, then of course, ideally you want to get paid for that. But if it's an affiliate product, it needs to pay you a minimum of $500. And just from a mathematical standpoint, if you're not getting paid that much per sale, how many sales are you going to need to hit your revenue goal? Now, not saying that low ticket stuff is bad. A lot of people make a ton of money out of low ticket stuff, but the volume of new customers you need versus the high ticket stuff, where you need less people in order to hit your revenue goals each and every month, it's a lot easier. Now, and again, a lot of limiting beliefs start popping up at this point. Oh, I want to just stick with low ticket first and see how it goes, and that's when I can cut my teeth. It's the same work, and I know that's cliche. It is the same work, I can assure you of that. In fact, the major catalyst for me blowing up my business was quite literally, I think I'm going to promote low ticket stuff on the back end of my business rather than being my first offer. And the rest sort of speaks for itself. I had my first $1,000 day in the first 7 days I started doing that, first $10,000 month, so on and so forth, right? So anyway, that's the thing. Make sure it pays a minimum of $500. You can get ones that pay $1,000 or more. By the way, if you're wanting to learn all this stuff, there is an option available. All you need to do is click that link below. It's called the Super Affiliate Accelerator. It's a coaching program and mentoring where basically we're showing students how to do all this stuff and get some incredible results. I'll be the first to say it's probably not going to be for most people because it does involve a lot of work, and most people just don't want to work. I'm sorry. You may think you do, but then you really don't. Let's be honest, right? And so anyway, check it out if you're interested. The students are getting some incredible results, so it does work pretty damn well. Right, anyway, with all that being said, pick a platform, and what you want to do is start producing content, okay? Now, don't think too hard and fast about this, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a formula you can use, and this is just a way from a psychological perspective that people, when they get into a sales environment with you, they know, like, and trust you. Three very important things when you're going into a sales process, right? So how do you do that? First one is you show off your lifestyle. Now, don't let the limiting beliefs get in the way. You don't need to be, the Kardashians or the Hiltons or whatever. It's, it's normal stuff. It's going out for a walk with your dog. It's driving to wherever. It's, being stuck in your apartment for a couple of months while certain viruses decide to take over the world. Things like that. And again, don't think so much about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to express who you are. And the thing is that if you're showing some of your flaws, you're showing some of the stuff that you do on a daily basis, people can relate to that. They can empathize. They relate to the normal stuff. Most of us, right? So that's the first part of it. Of course, you also want to prove to your audience that you can help them out before they've ever given you any sort of financial reward or anything like that, right? So that would be called value. Now, a lot of the time people think, okay, all you need to do is produce value and the money will come. Well, kind of. It's a bit hit and miss. It's a bit of a shotgun approach. I don't really like that, to be honest. But anyway, a video for another time. But value can be anything. Most of us that have been involved in online marketing and affiliate marketing, we don't actually know how much we know. It's 4 stages of learning. I'm not going to go into it right now, but the very last stage of those 4 stages is unconscious competence, where you don't need to think about what you're doing. It just kind of happens. And that's what happens with a lot of our knowledge. We know so much about it, we just kind of don't know that we know it. And we don't think that what we know is going to help anyone else out. But the reality is, everyone is at a different stage of their journey, right? So don't let those limiting beliefs get in the way. Just put some content out there. Anything that you think is going to help your audience out. Could be a motivational quote. It could be an image you've picked up somewhere. It could be a little tip. It could be, anything you've learned about sales. As you're learning this affiliate marketing stuff, you can then use that as a framework. So after you finish watching this video, guess what? You can have 5 steps. You can then create content around for yourself. You can take those 5 steps I'm going to teach you, as we're doing it right now. You can form Facebook posts out of that. You can put that on LinkedIn. Don't plagiarize my words. You're probably not going to want to anyway. But you can use that in your own voice to help people out. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Right, and then the last part of it is you need to prove to your audience that you know what you're talking about. And the way that you do that is either via your own results, and if you don't have your own results, that's completely fine. I'm sure, if for example you're interested in checking out SAA, you can leverage the results of a community. You can leverage the results of your mentors. Doesn't even need to be that big. You don't need to put too much thought in it, because the thing is, especially with the likes of Facebook or Instagram or whatever, your content is kind of irrelevant in a couple of days anyway. It's not, a lot of people put too much emphasis on, this bit of content has to be amazing. No, it doesn't. It just has to be done. Done is better than perfect. It's another thing I talk about a lot. So that's number 1, content. Number 2 is outreach. So again, I'm going to refer to Facebook. You can do it on YouTube. It's just a little bit harder, of course, because you can't really reach out to people on a one-to-one basis quite in the same way. But on Facebook, of course, you just reach out to people. Hey, how's it going? How's life? Where are you based? What's happening? Are you interested in the online marketing thing? Or, even better, hey, I noticed that you're interested in online marketing stuff. Me too. How's it all going? Chat. Just have a chat. You're not trying to sell anything at this stage. You're just literally trying to get to know people. You don't want to get stuck in the rapport building phase for too long, by the way. That's, again, a topic for another time. But this is simple. So all we've done so far is we've leveraged our Facebook profile. We've created some content, and we've started reaching out to people that might be interested. How do we find those people? Well, we take the product that we've got that pays us $500 or more, and then we go into that niche and we go into groups where people are, and then we start connecting with those people and we say hello. And then the third part of it is engaging in their content. The reason why we do this I've actually got the orders wrong. It's content, engagement, outreach. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Same thing. It doesn't matter what order. It just needs to be done, right? So what is engagement? Well, engagement, if you were watching this video, would be giving it a thumbs up, thank you, and feeling free to drop a comment, should you wish to. That would be engaging in my content. And of course, I would reciprocate. I would like your comment. I'd probably write a reply. If I get time, I would go to your profile, maybe check out your videos, things like that. But on Facebook, of course, I would do the same thing. And that activates the law of reciprocity. What that states is, it's a subconscious bias we have to want to return or want to give something to someone who has given us anything of perceived value. And that's really important. So once we do this engagement thing, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But you only need to spend like 15, 20 minutes a day doing it. But once we've done it for a little while, all of a sudden it starts building up. And that's what we want. Now, it activates two things. Like I say, law of reciprocity, so people are going to go and engage in our content. And the reason why we want that is because that helps shoot our content out further into the algorithm. So it's going to reach more people, okay? So that's the first part of it. The second part of that, it's a psychological thing. When someone stumbles upon your profile and they see you've got a couple hundred likes or a couple hundred comments, it activates social proof. Social proof is a validation process that we all go through subconsciously, that if other humans have made a decision and doing something, we automatically validate that for ourselves, right? So it works across a whole bunch of stuff. It can work across anything. So anyway, that's the second part of it, right? It's not super important in the grand scheme of things, because in my opinion, outreach is the bigger one. So what are we up to? 3 processes: content, outreach, engagement, and the last part is conversions. So how do you do that? Normally, in a normal setting, the way you've probably been taught for years is you need a website to convert into customers. And yes, if you're using things like e-commerce in the traditional sense, then yeah, you probably do need a website. For what we're doing though, do not need one. Kind of cool, right? Now, again, just a little caveat, I'm not dismissing the fact that funnels and all that stuff are kind of cool, and automating things and email marketing, all that sort of stuff is cool. Without a core process and understanding why people are buying, it doesn't have the same weight of importance as far as I'm concerned, right? So anyway, what are we up to? Conversion. Conversion is just a fancy way of saying sales. You need to sell something to someone in order for you to make money, in order to help them out as well, okay? And so here's the cool thing. The reason why this whole process works is because you're not trying to sell something to someone that they don't want, don't need, and can't make use of, and that you don't believe in, right? So you need to believe in your product. You need to see whether it's a good fit for them, and whether working with them is going to be a good fit for you. And then if they are, then you can make a suggestion on the product, okay? And that's how it works. It's as simple as that. You're diagnosing whether or not you can help them out. And if you can't, that's completely cool. It's just like real estate. You have to be prepared to walk away from the deal. If you're prepared to walk away from the deal, it's fine. There's so much opportunity out there. One of the mindset things my business partner and mentor speaks of a lot is the fact that there is unlimited abundance out there. And I guess both him and I have been very privy to witnessing some of the exchanges of financial resources getting changed hands, him billion-dollar deals without even blinking. Me, I worked in the foreign exchange markets where I saw trillions of dollars getting exchanged on a daily basis. So I'm privy to that as well. So yes, there is a ton. It doesn't matter what the economy is doing. There's so much opportunity out there. It's one of the things they speak of, right? So and coming at it with that mindset, it allows you to have a very chilled out nature, because you're not forcing something, or you're not trying to be all desperate and getting someone to buy your stuff when they don't really need it. You're actually trying to help them out, and that in itself is even more important. That's better than the financial reward. So that's it. You could quite happily build a $10,000 per month business just off that alone. Yeah, and you're probably thinking, okay, that sounds like a lot of work. Well, yes, does take work, and like I say, most people aren't prepared to put that work in. The ones that are clicking on SAA, the jumping into our mentoring program and kicking butt. But anyway, I digress. So you can take those. That's the 4 steps right there. However, what people tend to get stuck with is they don't know which one is the revenue producing activity. And of course, the conversion one, that's the revenue producing, but they all need to come together, right? So what you also can consider doing is adding the fifth option. The fifth option is The fifth option is basically you want to add some sort of, how do I put it? I guess like a CRM. You want to kind of track what you're doing. Organization, that was the word I was looking for. You want to have some level of organization in what you're doing. Because without that, you lose track of who you need to be following up with, who you've sent links out to, who you need to have a conversation with again, who's not interested at all. And you're going to lose track of that. You're going to keep getting fresh information all the time. And of course, the more information you get, the more people you connect on a daily basis, the more you're going to forget who you need to follow up with. So it's really important to go, okay, I've had no contact with this person, no contact with that person. I've had a great conversation with that person. I've also sent them a link to my thing to check out to see whether it's of interest. And of course, if you're doing this multiple times per day, you're going to forget, right? So this is how you kind of stack it up, make it all organized to a certain degree, as much as you can when you're doing this, because it is very manual. And once you do, you're going to have a great guidepost to work from, because then you're going to have, okay, I've got these 30, 50, 70, 100, 200 people that I've sent things to that I've had really good conversations with. Now I just need to go back through and follow up with them. Hey, how'd you get on? How's things? What do you want? Blah, 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 right? And that's what most people don't do. And I think that's one of the more critical parts of this whole process, is that once you've got those things down pat, you understand sales, you understand that entire process, then you can add the organizational part to it. And that's it. And once you've got that down pat, guess what? Then you can start adding funnels, then you can start having automation, then you can start adding emails and chatbots and ads, and then you can start producing content on other platforms. You can go across other platforms. You can go to YouTube, you can go to LinkedIn, you can go to Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want, right? That's how it gets done. Now, like I say, this wasn't never going to be a fluff-filled video, as per the majority of my channel, to be fair. But hopefully you got some value out of this. Like I say, the people that are taking action on SAA at the moment are getting fantastic results. And it's probably not going to be for everyone, probably not going to be for most people watching this, to be fair. But like I say, if you're prepared to put in the work, you can follow some simple instructions. You want to build something that is sustainable, and you then will have a deep understanding of why you can keep doing this into the future. Click that link, let's check it out. Anyway, my name's Jamie. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you tuning in. Smash that heart button or the like, whatever it is. Drop a comment, let me know your thoughts, and see you guys in the next one. Ciao.